Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Made-San Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about the Recoil Shock very bad acronym MP5A5 by Tokyo Marui. And I just came back from a 6-hour game session, which was endless. I took a little bit of breaks here and there at Area 41 again, an indoor field. Here in Yokohama, Japan, and I wanted to just like I did with the AK, the gas blowback AKM, just give my first impressions of its accuracy, its performance, its mobility handling, and just kind of what I thought about, how I thought about the MP5 in real time, because it's one thing to kind of review it out of the box and kind of use it out of context, but when you're actually using it on the field and seeing what it's actually capable of in a real situation, high stress situation, and I say high stress because, like I said before in another video, Japan is all about one life game mode, so one hit and you're done, right? So just seeing how the MP5 responds to high stress situations and high stress behavior. So I actually wrote down some notes this time, so I won't be rambling. I'm going to sound more like Drifter this time. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first one is accuracy and performance. So it is very, very accurate. Like, it easily carries 0.2 gram BBs at 25 meters. And 25 meters is usually the maximum range you're going to be shooting, or the range allows you to shoot, like the shooting range at the actual field allows you to shoot up to 25 meters, and it can easily match that. I only had to put the hop up maybe halfway or a little bit less than half before I started getting the BBs flying all the way up. Super accurate. At the beginning, I did have some flyers, so some of the BBs were going to the right, up, down. But after, maybe 100 shots or so, it started to become very accurate, just like that Tokyo Marui magic. It is very, very responsive, especially coming from someone who uses gas blowback rifles, and that response of the gas blowback rifle is unmatched, right? Compared to an AEG, that's not upgraded. This was paramount, and it just responded to every shot that I wanted to do. I'd be shooting like super fast sometimes, and it would respawn. No lockups, not a single mix-up. However, at the beginning, I did have some misfeeds. Now, I'm not sure if it was misfeeds or if my BBs were mixed with non-tracers, so maybe I just didn't see them. But there was definitely something going on at the very beginning. But either way, that ended after a couple of games, so it was fine. I shot over maybe 1,000 rounds the entire day because I was using 30-round mags, so I kind of went through almost all my ammo almost every game. We played back-to-back a lot, so I kind of ran out of ammo a lot of the times. And the battery, the 1,300 milliamps per hour 20C LiPo battery, 7.4, lasted the entire time, so it was great. Let's talk about like the recoil. So I know in my unboxing video I talked about the recoil. The recoil is amazing. However, when you are actually playing in the game with gear on and adrenaline and other things going on, that recoil is gone. It's basically, think about it like there's just feedback happening when you're shooting. It's not just, and I actually got some comments from some of the players who I was facing. He's like, wow, I thought your gun sounded like a real gun. I know that's kind of cringe to say, but it didn't sound like a pew pew. Like it sounded like something completely different when I was using the suppressor with the Ace-Tech tracer, not the Ace-Tech, the Marui tracer, and just the clank of that bolt. It sounds different. That's what I kind of like about AEGs, not the AEG, the NGRS. I just like how, especially as a video content creator, how the recoil shocks sound different, and they don't sound like car engines revving like my MCX, even though I do love that gun. But yes, the recoil is more like a PS4 controller with vibration. Just some feedback there, nothing significant to like mess up your side picture or anything like that. Let's talk about mobility and handling. The MP5 is very versatile in a real-time situation. That being said, the full length with the stock extended and the long-ass suppressor makes it longer than my Mark 18 when I use it with a suppressor or my small little X-Core Tech. Basically making it an AR-sized SMG. So if you were kind of looking to make the MP5 amazing because it's so small and compact, if you are planning to use it with a tracer and not have your gun look weird because of the adapter, be prepared to have AR basically an AR, like a sized, airsoft gun. That being said, it was very balanced, even with the suppressor, and I think the suppressor and the gearbox kind of outweighed each other, so the gun was very, very balanced. I didn't really feel any heavy front weight or any back weight. It was just completely nice. Unlike the Mark 18, where after a while I kind of do get tired to holding it up and stuff like that, because the grip is closer to your body. It's much easier to keep the gun steady at range with the MP5, because your body is close, your arms are close to your body, than it is with the Mark 18, because then you start sacrificing aiming stability by bringing in your arms a little bit more. So there were a couple of strategies that I used to kind of cope with this length, because in Japan some CQB is super, super tight, like really, really tight. You might see in some of the gameplay that there's like some corners where literally just like 190 degrees. So in order to get through those, you have to use a pistol if you want to get an angle on somebody. So one thing I did besides switching to my pistol was actually taking off the suppressor, and the QD, I'm sure with some practice, taking off the QD suppressor is going to be really nice. Speaking of which, my QD suppressor is a mess right now. Like, it is completely damaged to shit. It is done. It is just, you can forget about it trying to look cool. You might as well just wrap this thing up and make it look like a wrap suppressor now, because it is dirty and destroyed. But that being said, if you can take off the suppressor, you can get the length back of like that small compact length of the MP5, with the sacrifice of losing, your BB tracers. So that being said, the gun is super accurate. So I was able to trust my dot, and I was using, the not the recoil shock. What is it called? The Holosun 510C, which actually has a broken QD mount, but it's still held on because it's just AEG tactics. I was just using the EOTech circle, so I was just shooting that general area sometimes, and it's very important for me to have that accuracy. That's why I would use my MP5 over the pistol in a tight situation, because I want that accuracy and I want that, ammo capacity, right? Now, what I kind of discovered as my third strategy was to keep my suppressor on, but actually collapse the stock. So when you use like a high cycle, like the old MP5s by MARUI, like they're so stiff and they kind of like, they're hard to kind of pull out. You really got to pull that thing. But with I want to say NGRS, with the recoil shock, that stock is just so smooth. It's almost like a quick deploy of how quick it comes out and goes back in. It's almost like it feels like it's on ball bearings. And I know I said there was like a little bit of play on it, but there really isn't. It's just like that, can't be helped kind of play. It's just very, very, very minuscule. But when you're actually shouldering the weapon, it is super, super, super solid. And I've just found myself going John McClane a lot of the times. When I was rushing, I'd just go John McClane, and then I would just turn on my flashlight, maybe hit fire here and there, and that was basically what I was doing with the MP5 near the end of the day. So now I want to kind of talk about like 2-point slings and the sling. So which sling would I end up using? Now, if it was like an MP5K or like a smaller gun, then I would use like the 1-point sling. But with the MP5 being as long as it is, when I have the suppressor and I have the PDW stock put out, it gets pretty long. So having the 2-point was nice, because I was able to kind of just throw it to the side and then, maneuver what I was supposed to do. And it was super important too, because there were some moments where I had to like, pick up teammates. I had to like take them back to spawn. So it was really nice to have that 2-point sling. And I think I am just going to stick with the 2-point sling from now on, or I would have been hitting, some of my teammates in the face with my MP5. Let's talk about reloads. So reloads, and this kind of goes with like maneuverability and kind of the gun's handling. I found myself doing, even though I practiced a lot trying to do the tactical reload while holding 2 magazines in your hand while, holding the entire time so you can re-index, I just found myself under stress. When I was under stress and in high stress situations where I had to do a lot of emergency reloads or even just tac reloads, I was using my first technique, which is just, you take your bare hand, you rack it, take out the mag, put that mag in a dump pouch, and then put it back in with one hand only one hand in your one mag in your hand. And I found that was more useful because the mag well for the MP5 is not like the high cycle where it just kind of goes in. It is a thick boy, and that mag well is super tight, and there's a certain angle you have to put it in, so it does take a lot of force. And I could imagine this is what it's like, how much force you need to put it in. I can imagine what it's like for like when you have to reload do a tack reload with one in the chamber with a 30 round mag instead of a 29. So you actually have to push against the spring. I can imagine that's how much kind of force you kind of need to do. So you got to commit your entire hand to that technique, and having another magazine in your hand gets too cumbersome, and it does, slow down the reload a lot, because the reload takes about 5 seconds, and 5 seconds is a long time. I think with the speed reload, the one that I do, is like a 3 second. Maybe I could do it like a 3.5 kind of thing. But the tack reload, when I had the two mags, 4.5 seconds at tops. And you just have to like recycle. You have to recycle your mags. So after I kind of throw the mag, and then if I have them on a downtime, then I'll recycle the mags back to my pouch, all that stuff. And the reloads can get a little bit cumbersome. Because the reload was cumbersome, I found myself actually running into a lot of emergency reload situations. So I'm running the gun at 30 rounds with the reel caps the switch on, so I can't go any more than 30. And even though the reload is fun, it is time consuming enough that I didn't train enough. This time consuming enough for you to be like, do I really want to spend the time to reload now? It's not like I can just drop the mag. When I aim at drop the mag, aim outside to just slap another magazine like an AR-15 platform. But this one, I don't have to rack the charging handle, but I do anyway for the purposes of videos. And you guys will see when I make those gameplays, because you actually lose rounds when you attack reload on an AG. The BBs fall out, right? So that's it's my own personal reason why I want to do the slap and everything. But yeah, that whole process, that whole 5 seconds of trying to reload, I just found myself being like, yo, I gotta reload. Sorry, I'll be right back. And luckily I had teammates to cover me and do stuff like that. But do stuff like that. But it was enough for me to not want to reload. So I highly encourage, if you do get the MP5 or you move to the MP5 platform, you do a lot of training for that reload and kind of try and simulate some sort of high stress situation. Because it does become important. Or just switch to your pistol. But I don't know. It's so weird for me. It's so weird. It's such a weird gun to kind of throw on your sling, because I'm used to having my sling point at the end of my buttstock, and then at either the middle of the gun or the end of the gun. But with the MP5, it's like the middle of the gun and the tip of the gun. So it's kind of weird how it lands. So I don't like to do it, but I just probably got to practice that. But anyway, reload's cumbersome enough for you not to want to do it too much. So I was finding myself shooting a lot of empty. Luckily, I did some training to kind of compensate for that. Speaking about shooting and running out of ammo, I was running out of ammo a lot because I was shooting a lot. Now, that's probably because I don't know the gun's capabilities, how far it can go, how accurate it actually is. So I was just kind of experimenting with that. But even though I was on 30 round mags, I wasn't as conscious as I am about saving ammo, saving gas, worrying about cooldown effect by shooting too much like I am with my Mark 18 or my AK. I found myself just spamming because I don't have anything to worry about. I just got to worry about my bullets, right? Or my BBs. So I feel like that's kind of a downside, but also a good thing, because over time, as I use it, I'll be able to kind of learn to conserve ammo better than I do now. I just shot a lot and I was going through 30 a lot. But my Mark 18, I maybe shoot like 1, 2, bum, 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 bum. Because I know I have to save more than BBs when it comes to gas pullbacks. But with the MP5, it's just saving BBs if I'm not gonna, because there's no gas or anything to worry about. But even though I had notes, I still kind of messed this up. But whatever. Overall, the MP5A5 recoil shock is very good, top class, very nice. Very well built. Recoil is met in real time when you're on adrenaline, but it's solidly built enough to take the beating that it needs to be in airsoft in Japan. And very versatile in terms of its size if you are willing to do the training to kind of manipulate the weapon. But other than that, it was perfectly fine. I had problems with my flashlight. I kind of jerry-rigged it onto the A5 handguard. Gonna be getting a new one anyway, so hopefully we can remedy that soon. But until that time, we're just gonna deal with what we have. But anyway, guys, I'm not even sure when the next time I'm gonna play airsoft is. Corona is getting pretty bad here, so I might not be playing for a while. So I'm gonna have to farm the crap out of this for a while. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the MP5A5's performance. I'm pretty sure the gameplay you're seeing here is probably just out of context. I don't know. I just want to get the video out and I don't really want to just show specific moments because I just want to get that information out. But you can just kind of see a little bit of context of what's happening. Probably just random gameplay clips. But we will have a montage coming up, and we will have full gameplays, of course, because we played 29 games or 28 games. There's more, but I took a break and went to eat McDonald's. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, rate, and drifter out.